Hello everyone, Scott here with Android iPad TV. Last week we talked about 10 things I love about iOS and 10 things I love about Android. This week we're going to be exploring the opposite. 10 things I dislike, or 10 grievances with iOS, and 10 grievances with Android. Please use the links provided to go back and forth and view each video. Hope you enjoy. My first grievance with Android is usually everybody's biggest criticism of Android, and that's its fragmentation. You can see here I am running 2.3.4, but this device actually had to have CyanogenMod installed on it and be rooted just to be able to get 2.3.4. Otherwise it was going to be stuck on 2.2 Froyo, which is what it came stock. And a lot of people are seeing that they're not getting their OS updates simply because they're not able to push those updates out due to carrier differences and other variables, and perhaps a lack of control for Google and their update system. Alright, to illustrate Android fragmentation, here's a chart here. You can see Apple iPhone original, 3G, 3GS, 4G. They're all in green even up to 3 years after the release, which that means it's on its current major version. But if you look at like the G1, the original one, it's in the red 3 years after release. That means it's 3+ major versions behind. And orange isn't good either. That's 2 versions behind. The Click XT was released behind and remained without an update, 3+ major versions behind just 2 years after release. And almost all of these are either in yellow, orange, or red as far as being able to get updates, and so that's actually quite a serious issue for Android and its fragmentation. Also related to fragmentation would be just too many choices. There's so many carriers and so many different devices, and of course that would be seen as a positive to some as well, but to the average consumer they may not actually want so many device choices when they go looking for a phone. It becomes confusing, and which one's better and which one's, which one should I get? Related to this point, you never have the same phone across all the carriers, so if there's something like the Galaxy S2 that you really like and you want to get it, that may actually be the closest one to being across all carriers, but they have different variants in each and every carrier that look differently and even have some different processing speeds and functionality, so you really don't get the same phone across carriers. My third point is related to storage capacity. As you can see here, my internal storage space is actually just 1.13 gigabytes, but it's expandable for up to 32 gigabytes, which I've done. But without that expandability, most phones are actually just don't have enough internal hard drive space, so you almost are forced to put an SD card in there and expand it. I've never been able to go without rooting my Android. I have now had a number of Android devices, I believe 5 in all, but I've rooted them all, and part of it is because you just get much more freedom once you root it that doesn't come in the normal Android infrastructure. Things such as you can take away ads off of your apps, and you can calibrate your battery, which improves your battery life. You can do this titanium backup where you back up all your phones and apps. And there just isn't enough flexibility if you don't root, and so I find that I always have to root my Android phone as soon as I get it. My next grievance is also regarding battery life, and it's inherent in most smartphones, if not all smartphones, just battery life problems in general. They're just pulling so much data. But I found that Android, I have to root my device to improve its battery and performance, but on top of that, I have to get like a third-party application like Juice Defender, which it allows you to customize so many different things controlling the battery, which is good. But I'd like to not have to run a third-party application. I'd like the battery to just last as long as I need it to. And I've never been quite satisfied with the stock look of most ROMs, and so I always have the need to put on a new ROM that customizes for my need with different animations and things like that just suit me better. And this is Launcher Pro that I run, but also I have here ADW, which is another popular one, and you can see it has slightly different variants to it. Another complaint I'd have is there's just really no native cloud syncing other than Google services. So Google here, I can sync my docs and Google Plus, Books, Contacts, Gmail, Picasa, things like that, Calendar. But outside of that, there really isn't a built-in sync software. iCloud is a really nice piece of software now that iOS has, and it syncs much more than just your calendar and things like that to iCloud. So I'd like to see a better cloud integration in future rollouts of Android if that was possible. I'm not really a fan of the native music application that comes stock with Android, so I've taken the liberty to install other third-party applications. So here we are looking at Player Pro, and it just has a better feel to it and just looks better. And here's Power Amp, which is again another really gorgeous application for music. But again, it emphasizes the point that the music player really just needs to be substituted in Android. It's really not up to par with way music player standards should be. And the native phone application, this doesn't look so bad, but it's always driven me crazy, like going to my contacts and having to flip through this whole array of things and not having a decent alphabetical list. So I've always had to install third-party clients to help me with my phone needs. So this application is called Contacts, and it puts my favorites, and I can just click on that icon there, and I immediately call them. Hit the wrong button, but I immediately call that person, and I can flip over here, and here's a nice alphabetical listing, and I can type on. See if I can do this without looking. There we go. So F, and I can call those people, and called full screen caller ID, where I get to see the caller in a full high def picture, which really looks nice. But again, I had to customize this just to be able to be satisfied with its look. And my last grievance would be annoying applications that just take up space and don't serve any purpose. So when you buy a stock Android device, they come with third-party applications installed by the carriers themselves or the phone manufacturers, and things like this parent dashboard. I mean, do I really need that? There are ways to uninstall them, like Titanium Backup. If you're a rooter, you can root your device and then uninstall them. But it's just annoying to even have to go to that point. I wish that you could choose your applications from the start, and it just came with the bare minimum essential applications when you first get your device. Well, hopefully this gives you some better insight into things that I find frustrating with both iOS and Android. Be sure to check out my last week's videos. I covered 10 things that I love about iOS and 10 things that I love about Android. Those videos will be great to contrast with the videos here, and really help you make a decision as to what you might prefer and what might interest you. Also, be sure to tune in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be featuring 15 applications I love in Android and couldn't live without, as well as 15 applications I couldn't live without in iOS. And so tune in, and over the next 2 weeks I should be posting those videos as well. If you like my videos, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. You can also follow me on Twitter at AndroidIPad. Thank you very much. Have a good day.